Well, we're about 3 hours into this project. Got the motor cleaned down. Still gotta do some touching up. I washed the truck with some degreaser and soap, of course, Dawn. Washed out the interior good. Letting everything dry out. We're gonna put everything back in. Gonna leave the doors open for a few hours, put a fan in there, let everything totally dry out. That got damp. You really can't hurt these things. When I worked at the detail shop, they had brand new BMWs, Mercedes. They leave the doors open, they power wash the door jambs, everything gets soaking wet, and they just run them right through the line. So stuff dries out, so not a big deal. But all right. Well, we will pick you up when we get some more done. Like I said, we got 3 hours into this. All right, figure I'd give you a 1 hour update on the detailing. Still have lots of other things to do, but I wanted to put a buffer on this and see what it would look like. I do have help today. Everybody's very hot. It's almost 90 degrees already. It's 10:30 in the morning. Just wanted to give you a quick update. Look at the difference. I don't know if you can see it. I haven't touched the hood yet, but I did the fender and got that all polished up. I had some road tar on that under there I had to work. I did straighten out the bottom of the door somewhat. It's not great. These doors are in really bad shape, so I don't want to spend too much time, but I want to make the truck shine, make it look good. Still can't get all this stuff off. I'm not going to kill myself doing it because the doors have to be replaced anyway. So just wanted to show you a difference though. I don't know if you can see that, but look at the shine. I'm 90% sure this has never been buffed. It might have been waxed at one point, but it comes up pretty good. There's a reason why they call red resale red, because when you polish red, generally it comes up very shiny. So there's a lot of imperfections in this, but all in all, I think it's probably 90% better than it was. So we're gonna make it look pretty for them, and still have to do this, and I still have to do the bed and then put the wheel arches on. So still got to do shocks, oil change, still got a lot to do, still letting the interior dry out. Just wanted to give you an update. So we're going to mess with this for another hour or so, and then we'll be in the sun, unfortunately. So trying to do this before the sun's right on us. So as you can see, Graham's not doing much and he's panting. So alrighty, we will show you when we get the whole side done. All right, just wanted to pick you back up real quick. I forgot to show you. So what I do, it's kind of a pro, non-pro tip. I don't claim to be a pro, but I have been doing this a long time. On these older vehicles, I tape up the black, because what happens is if the polish and the wax and the compound get into it, it'll actually stain it. And if you look here, I didn't do the whole door handle, I only did the edge, and now it's stained. So the only way to clean that up is take the power washer and just boop 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 over it, and then it gets all the stuff out of the cracks. So just wanted to show you. Also, this is what I'm using: Meguiar's Ultra Cut Compound, Swirl Eliminator Polish, and then just Meguiar's Pure Wax. I do it on the black pad, which is a heavier cutting pad, and then finish it off with this polishing pad. Start that off on low and work your way up to speed, and then once you get 80-90% of the polish off, you hit it with this on high speed and it takes the rest off. All right, quick update. We're about 3 hours in. Got this whole side buffed. As you can see, the tailgate's not done. We set the fender flares on just to see what they look like. In my opinion, I like them black. We were talking about painting them the same as the body color. They do hide all that rust there, which is great. And the new wheels will be polished aluminum in black. So I'm thinking black would really set it off, but I'll talk to my buddy, see what he wants to do. Ultimately it's up to him, but yeah, it looks great. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Dan Wilson. Gus, I want to thank you for teaching me how to buff almost 30 years ago when we met at NADE, Manheim Auctions. Didn't really know anything about detailing, and I was selling cars and polishing things by hand. He gave me my first buffer, which is a Black & Decker buffer. I still have it to this day with the old wool pads. Now I use an orbital. Sometimes if I have to cut something heavy, like if I'm wet sanding, I might use the other buffer still. But like I said, thanks Dan for everything you taught me. Appreciate it. And I gotta go before I drop out. As you can see, I am quite wet. It's 92 degrees and I think we're about done for the day. So I'm gonna wrap this up. We got a lot done, got about a third of it done, and we will pick you up when we do the hood and the tailgate. All right. Well, good morning. So just wanted to give you a quick update on the truck. As you can see, we got the flares on this side. We got our new wheels. Here's a little preview of our wheels. They're nice, 35-inch. Not sure if the offset's going to be right. I think it might be, because these are pretty deep dish and they rub on the inside. So I believe these are 35 by 12.5s. I don't know what the number is, but we got the exhaust tip from them yesterday. How's that for an exhaust tip? We got the oil for the oil change. We did get a set of spacers from them if we need them on the front. Still got to get the rockers. We did get the interior back together. Got to do a little more cleaning on the floor, and then of course wipe everything down with some kind of vinyl wipe. But back seat came out really decent. So I tried to do something with this passenger seat. I took the cover off of it, and everything, the actual seat came apart at all the seams, but he's missing two pieces of it. So if I had all the pieces, I could have it sewn back together, but we're missing, let me show you, we're missing these two pieces that I guess they came apart and they got thrown away. There's a piece here and a piece here that we're missing. So, and it's all separated on the seams, which is really weird, especially on the passenger side that doesn't get used much. But he said that happened years ago actually. So I'm going to look into getting new covers for him, at least the passenger side. I did it on my Dodge, I did it on the Excursion, so I would think these trucks are super popular. So, but today we are going to work on this fender. I already started a little bit. We got the emblem off, we got it taped off, which is some duct tape, and what we're doing is we're hitting it with 220 first, get out all the real imperfections, and then I'm probably going to wet sand it with 400 600, and then we'll spray a primer on it. Well, we'll have to tape everything off, of course, cover the truck, spray a primer on it, let that set up, then the top coat. We're not using our spray gun. He got the touch-up brand, which I've used in the past many times, automotive touch-up, but he did get the Eastwood 2K clear coat. He thought he ordered two. There's only one. It should be enough for 2 coats. But what we have to do is, once we put the primer on, let that set up for a while. I guess that's the only primer. Not sure. No, there's the primer there. We'll use that primer. And he did get clear coat through that, but I don't like the lacquer clear coat because it does crack. So we use the 2K, which is a 2-part that is enamel based. I think it's urethane enamel. So, you know, it's not going to be perfect. Truck is 23 years old, but it's going to look 110 times better once we get done. So still got to do shocks, still got to put tires on, still got a bunch of stuff to do, but it's looking a lot better already. So they call it resale red for a reason. And my buddy Dan taught me, he said you can polish a turd if you have the right chemicals. And he is exactly right, especially red. Red comes up nice generally, as long as it's not, as long as the clear coat's not gone. That's the big thing. If there's clear coat left on it, it will shine. So, all right, we'll pick you up when we start painting this fender. Still got to buff the hood and buff the other side of the truck, but just kind of waiting. I don't know what this weather's going to do today, so it's probably not going to be a good day to paint. Of course, this time of year is never a good time to paint. So we'll see what happens. All right, I'm gonna stop rambling, put the camera down and do some work. All right, another quick update. I think we showed you before, we got the interior all back together. I think I showed you that earlier. It's all back together. We wet sanded that fender, got that all ready, but as you can tell, it's raining. It's a good day to be a duck today. It's just humid and nasty. I got help today though, which is a good thing. So we are gonna fasten these on permanently. We took the new wheels out. We're gonna try to mock them up on here. Hopefully they fit. I just took this off. The center hub was very loose. It was, so I took it off, I greased it. It had no grease in it at all. And it doesn't take much, but you need a little bit. And I just put a couple dabs of silicone in it, so once it's hard, that won't rattle anymore, because that was rattling going down the road. I also noticed a lot of these wires are hanging. The brake lines are way too big for this truck, and they're tied up. I'm going to try to clean that up a little bit, because this is rubbing there, and you don't want that to rub through. So we're going to try to clean that up a little bit. Going to change that shock while we're here, and hopefully get this new wheel on. And see how it works. So that's the plan for today. Just take it kind of hour at a time, because the weather just keeps opening up on us. Still have to do the buffing like I said, but all right, we'll show you once we get a wheel on and get some other things done. All right, so it's supposed to rain the next 4 days, so we figured we put up the old 10 by 20 pop tent, and helps. Still soaking wet. I just changed my shirt, but I'm wet. That's all right. It is what it is. We'll give you a little preview of how she's gonna look. She looks good. And we were working under here in the back for the last hour. If you can see, we got new Bilsteins. I redid the exhaust, so now the exhaust is all stable. I drilled that bracket there, put another bracket on, put a couple band clamps on it. I wish the tailpipe came out further, but that's how it is. It is what it is. So that's the old. That's the old, and this is the new. So like I said, we're not near done yet, but we're making headway, and we're gonna get her done. All right. All right, we're gonna try to do a little painting this morning. We got everything prepped, ready to go on this fender. All taped off, got plastic. It's a little breezy and it's very humid. It's definitely not a good day to be painting, but we got 4 days of rain coming, and it's not raining right now, so we are gonna go with it. I'm sure it's not gonna be perfect, but it is. He got the, we're not doing it with the gun, we're just doing it with the base coat, clear coat. We're using the Eastwood clear coat. So we're gonna do that and go from there. And I have done this before this way with pretty good results, especially on red, but like I said, it's quite humid today, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully it lays out. We got to wipe it down, and then we're gonna hit it with I'm actually gonna hit it with the heater, it's like a blow dryer, just to warm it and get all the moisture out of the So we'll see what happens. We'll show you when we get first couple coats on. We got to prime it first, and then we have to let the base coat dry for like an hour because we're putting enamel clear coat on it to hopefully hold up better. So we'll pick you up. All right, so we got some primer on here. Like I said, we did warm it up with the heat gun, try to get some of the humidity out of the metal, which I don't know if that actually does anything, but it's very humid. Definitely not a good day to paint, but we're trying it. This is the primer. I didn't realize that he got red primer, which is awesome. Good thinking, Mike. I didn't even think of that. That was a great idea because that'll help for coverage on the top coat. So we're gonna let that dry about a half hour or so, and then we're gonna wet sand it very lightly with some 800, and then we'll see what this weather does. As long as it's not raining, which I don't know if it's gonna, we'll try to put some top coat and clear on it. So it's getting windier, which isn't good. I'm going to take a couple ratchet straps and ratchet strap this thing down. Hopefully the tarp itself doesn't go anywhere, and we'll go from there. All right, we got the base coat on here. It laid out pretty decent considering. Like I said, the weather is horrible. It's not raining, sun is out, but it's still very humid. We got 3 coats on there, 2 coats of primer, 3 coats of top coat. There's imperfections in the fender no matter what, but we're gonna let this dry for an hour, and then we are gonna try to do this 2K primer, the Eastwood 2K. I saw on YouTube that they say you can spray it over lacquer base after about an hour after it's fully cured. We have been putting some heat to it to try to get the moisture out of everything. We're going to let this dry an hour or so, and we'll try it down on the bottom first, make sure it doesn't ripple, and if it doesn't, we're going to put 2 coats of clear on it. So let's see what happens. No matter what, it will be 100% better than what it was, so that's the whole goal. Alrighty, we'll pick you up when we get some clear on it. Alright, so we got base coat on, clear coat on. Still a little wet up in there. It's only been about 10 minutes. We got help today. So that's 3 coats. It's got a nice shine. Whoever said you can't get a good thing out of a can is never tried, or they just don't know how. All in all, it's pretty good. I mean, it would be better with a gun for sure. We were going to get a quart of paint and decided against it because he had this, and this stuff wasn't cheap. So it laid out very well, and that 2K clear coat should hold up really well. So we'll let that dry for a day or two, and then probably wet sand it with like 2000, maybe 2500, something like that, probably 2000, and then buff it out. And of course we still have to buff the hood and this side of the truck anyway. But all in all, especially with the humidity today, the horrible weather we're having, I think it came out really good. It's nice and shiny. I mean, it's got a few issues that are in the fender itself. I didn't spend a lot of time doing body work on it, that's for sure. It was more of a sanding and a painting, but so we're gonna call this good. Like I said, we'll wet sand it in a day or so, put the emblem back on, buff it out, finish buffing this side. Got to do some work on the brake lines up here, put the wheel arches on, and it's gonna be about it for this for now, and change the oil. So we did I ended up taking the wire wheel on the bench grinder, and because we don't have the right lug nuts, they do work, but we really want this style. They're a special head. That's what we're going to end up doing though on all of them. I think they're coming in on Wednesday, but so all in all though, it's looking really good. I think he's going to be quite surprised. All right, we will pick you up after we're wet sanding and buff and have everything on pretty much finished product. All right, say goodbye, Grammy. All right, we are officially done working on this truck. Had it for well over a week. Did a lot of work to it, as you can tell. We spent probably 20 hours, 25 hours just detailing. Got the wheel arches on, painted the inner fender wells, put the new wheels and tires on. Same thing, painted, put new shocks on, redid the brake lines on the front. Buffed everything out, as you can tell. Everything's nice and shiny. Resale red, baby. Fixed the exhaust. The exhaust had a bunch of issues. It was actually loose on the turbo. I tightened that up. Like I said, we did the wheels and tires, shocks. The day I got it, I put a steering box in it, hooked all that up. We took the interior partially apart, detailed that, put 2 new rocker panels on, the outer rockers front and back here. We detailed the interior. Everything is nice and clean. Everything looks good again. There's the dingy bell. Everything's nice. Cleaned all the windows, and we power washed under the hood. Got that all nice and spiffy clean. Cleaned the air filter because that didn't look like it would have been cleaned in a long time. Topped that off, changed the oil. Transmission fluid we're going to do another time. I was going to spray some sealer on the motor, but that just kind of attracts dust. We did tighten up the 4-inch down pipe there. It was totally loose, and that was part of what was banging, believe it or not. And we also replaced the sway bar end links under there, and checked the fluids and everything that could be checked. Of course, the rear was just done, but everything looks good. We painted here and there. Everything's detailed. Nice, good shocks. The rear is painted. Got the exhaust all back. Everything's tight now. Well, it still hits against the shock, but not much I can do about that. It's a 5-inch exhaust, so the old wheels are in the back, and that's about it. We got between 45 and 50 hours total into this, so we've spent a lot of time on it, but it looks really good. This was banged in under here. We banged it out and repainted the bottom part, got that as straight as we could. Did a lot of little things, but all in all, it came out great, really. I think him and his girlfriend are going to be quite surprised, because I don't think the truck has looked this nice in many years. So I took it for a ride, goes straight down the road. The ride's decent, still an F350, but all in all, came out really nice. Alrighty, we're gonna wrap this video up and call it a day, because it's 2 o'clock and it's sweltering out. All right, we'll see you on the next project.